Bronica SQ is a camera which was, until now, completely new to me. I've never used it or even seen one in person. So when a good friend of mine who owns one, Marko Mihaljevic, asked me if I wanted to take it for a spin and maybe even make a video about it, I jumped at the opportunity. I borrowed the Bronica and headed off for a little road trip to a Game of Thrones location, Dubrovnik. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. It's Christmas 2022, which, judging by the way I was dressed, you'd never think it was. But I guess that's just one of the privileges of living in a Mediterranean country. I find myself in beautiful Dubrovnik, where we got some relatives living about 80 miles away from here. And since we were visiting for Christmas holidays, I figured it'd be a great opportunity for a little escape to test out the little Bronica. Let's see what we can find.
Yesterday I lost the battle, trying at all costs, oh, to keep you, baby. Oh, to keep you, baby. Now I hurt so bad. All I feel is sad that I lost you, baby. Oh, I lost you, baby. I said goodbye with tears inside, calling out your name as you shut the door behind you. And now I wonder, why won't you come back? Love me, hold me, need me, like the way you used to do when it was just me and you. Don't go, I need you, I'll never mislead you. Give this love another chance. Take my hand and let me have this dance.
I'm out of light here, so it's about time we wrap this one up. Out of the light here, it's a light here. It feels great in the hands, and to do the camera justice, I do have a couple of gripes with this camera, but they're nothing but... Yeah, that was embarrassing. I think we should do the little Bronica justice and wrap this one up properly. The SQ was first introduced in the year 1980, and it was produced for about 20 years or so. There were two major versions, the SQ-A and the SQ-B. There were also a couple of minor versions in between, like the SQ-AM and so on, but let's stick to these two for now. The SQ is what is known as a camera system, a term which I've come to abuse lately, which means that most, if not all, of the components are interchangeable. There are various viewfinders, for example, the waist level viewfinder, the prism viewfinder, or even the chimney viewfinder, which is really interesting. There are all these different lenses for the camera, the film advance mechanisms like the motorized drive or the hand crank if you're up for a lighter setup. And of course, you can swap out the film backs. Now, should you get this camera, and what are some pros and cons? Well, the build quality and its weight are definitely some of its strengths. The camera is all metal built with very few, if any, plastic or rubberized parts, and it's not heavy. You can wear it around your neck like so for most of the day, and it's not going to weigh you down. In terms of optics, there are various different focal lengths with excellent quality lenses, which were first made by Nikon and then later brought in-house. One of the features which really excited me was this film sensitivity selector, which is on the film back instead of the camera body. Now, my Mamiyas have this selector on the camera body, and I frequently forget to change the values when I change the film. So of course that messes my auto exposure settings. What are the cons, if any? I have to be honest and say that actually there aren't any cons to this camera system. It's not gonna be limiting you in any way. If I am to be a bit snobbish, I have to say that it feels a bit blue collar, as Kyle McDougall has put it. Just the feel and the sounds that this camera produces don't feel as premium as the Mamiyas and the Hasselblad 500, which I owned about 15 years ago and sold it for about $500. Talk about smart business decisions. But I digress. The film spool retainer tabs on the film backs tend to fall out easily. The dark slide is a bit thick and it feels kind of unrefined almost. And the shutter selector, as well as some other switches like this one on the eye level prism, feel a bit basic, I guess. And also the sounds that this camera makes, like the hand crank and the mirror slap, don't feel as premium as on the other camera systems. But now I think this is really being snobbish, so now I'm gonna have to close out this video by saying that this camera system doesn't have any flaws whatsoever. Except the square format. It feels almost claustrophobic at times, but I guess that's just because I'm not used to working with it. I mostly work with the Mamiya 645 and the 6.7, as well as my digital 35mm cameras, which have different aspect ratios to the image. So that's something worth considering. But if you're up for a new medium format film camera, go grab yourself one of these while you can. You're not gonna be disappointed. Catch you gals and guys in the next one. Bye for now.